There is a moment in a person's life when something within awakens. It is not an external noise, nor a voice from the world, but a sacred murmur that arises from the depths of the soul. It is the call to live despite adversity. That divine whisper that invites us to let go of fear, to spread our wings, and to fly beyond the limits we have built ourselves. For years, human beings walk in circles within their own routines. They live trapped between what is known and what is safe, seeking meaning in material things, believing that stability is synonymous with fulfillment. But there comes a point, almost always in the silence of reflection or in the weariness of the soul, where we feel the need to look beyond the horizon our eyes are used to seeing. That is the moment when the soul says, "It's time to fly." Flying doesn't mean fleeing, but rather discovering oneself. It's the act of returning to the essential, of discovering what was always within, but forgotten amid the noise of the world. It's looking at life with the innocence of someone contemplating it for the first time and recognizing that every experience, every landscape, every emotion has a divine purpose. When a person embarks on this inner flight, they realize that the most important journey is not the one taken to other places, but the one taken within themselves. Because in that inner flight, he discovers that he is not alone. He discovers that his maker has always been there, not a distant or unreachable God, but one who dwells in his breath, in every step, in every blink of an eye, in the nature that surrounds him, in the love he gives and receives, in the simple fact of existing. He then understands that the whole of man is God, and that everything he seeks outside, peace, direction, fulfillment, only flourishes when he reconnects with that divine spark that created him. Flight then becomes a sacred act. Every step is a prayer. Every discovery is a revelation. Every moment of life is a communion with the eternal. And flying is not always easy. It requires letting go of the weight of the past, the guilt, the fears, and the "I can't" that bind the soul to the earth. But whoever dares to do so, whoever spreads their wings with faith, experiences the deepest freedom, that of knowing themselves guided, sustained, and loved by the eternal. The moment to fly comes when the soul, tired of settling for superficial things, decides to look to the heavens and remember its divine origin. Because man was not created to crawl among the mundane, but to soar toward the eternal. There are times when human beings stop to look at life and feel an emptiness they can't feel. They've tried everything they could find, all kinds of distractions. But inside, something keeps calling. That something isn't a lack, it's a reminder. A gentle voice whispers, "You are not made for the ephemeral, but for the eternal." We are born with a greater purpose than simply existing. It comes from the eternal, and therefore, its essence seeks to return to it. But as you walk along artificial lights, chasing goals imposed by the world, you risk losing your direction. When your life is oriented only toward the fleeting, immediate success, fame, power, or approval, your soul slowly withers, because none of these things can bear the weight of infinity. The purpose is revealed when man aligns his steps with the divine. When every decision, every intention, and every action are guided by something higher than ego or desire. That is when his life acquires meaning, not because the path becomes easy, but because every step has direction and purpose. Living toward the eternal does not mean despising all this, but rather loving life and being aware that we are pilgrims, with the gaze of one who knows that it is temporary. It means acting with compassion, serving with humility, creating with love, and walking with faith. Because those who orient their lives toward God, toward the transcendent, begin to see purpose in everything, in joy and in loss, in abundance and in waiting. And it is at that point that man stops living adrift. He no longer pursues what shines for an instant, but what illuminates forever. He understands that his purpose is not to accumulate, but to give, not in seeking to be seen, but in reflecting the light of the Creator. The soul that lives with its gaze fixed on the eternal no longer fears time, because it has understood that its value depends not on what it possesses, but on what it is. And what it is a divine spark, called to expand and to love without measure. Thus, when man orients his life toward the eternal, the noise of the world fades, and in its place emerges the deepest peace, that of knowing that he is walking, at last, in the right direction. Whatever happens, it is under the care and protection of the Eternal. And when it's time to return home, it will be the most anticipated destination, because we will always be with Him.